All right, in this explainer, we're going to take a common idea and just flip it completely upside down. We're talking about the hidden brilliance of what most people would just call lazy habits. I mean, come on. This has to sound familiar, right? You look at your desk, you see the piles of paper, the books, maybe a few forgotten coffee mugs, and that one word just pops into your head: lazy. Or even better, someone else helpfully points it out for you. But here's a thought. What if that snap judgment is just wrong? What if that messy desk and a couple of other habits like it aren't flaws you need to fix at all? What if they're actually a feature, a sign that your brain is operating on a completely different and maybe even a more brilliant level? So let's do it. Let's re-examine some of these common habits and see them for what they could really be. Pretty amazing signs of hidden brilliance. First up, the all-time classic, the messy desk. Society tells us this is a sign of disorganization, plain and simple. But get this, some fascinating research, like a study from the University of Minnesota, suggests something totally different. A messy space can actually make you more creative. A brilliant mind is often laser-focused on the big picture, the major project, the breakthrough idea. The physical state of the desk? Honestly, it's just not the priority. Your brain power is being spent on what actually matters. And what about talking to yourself? Yeah, it might get you a few funny looks, but it turns out it's an incredibly effective tool for your brain. This isn't just you being quirky, it's your brain literally thinking out loud. It's an amazing way to organize complex thoughts, weigh your options, and solve problems way more efficiently. Think of it like this. When you actually say your plan out loud, you're creating a super clear roadmap for your brain to follow. You're basically coaching yourself through a tough task, clarifying your own thoughts, and even locking it into your memory better. It's high-level self-guidance, and it's a remarkably smart way to keep yourself on track. Okay, so we've looked at the what, but the really interesting question is why. Why do these habits seem to show up so often in highly intelligent people? Well, it all comes down to how a brilliant brain is actually wired. The first big idea is called selective organization. You can think of this as your brain's own super smart efficiency filter. It's the ability to sift through everything you have to do and pour your precious mental energy only into the things with the biggest impact, while letting the less important stuff, like, say, filing that memo from last week, just slide. And this is the absolute core of it. It's not that a person can't clean their desk. It's that their brain did a lightning-fast analysis and decided its time and energy are way better spent on the number one priority. It is a strategic choice, not a sloppy one. The second piece of the puzzle is something called cognitive reflection. This is all about the idea of slowing down in order to speed up. Instead of just reacting on a gut feeling, an intelligent mind will often pause, question its first instinct, and look at a problem from a few different angles before making a move. Now, from the outside, that might look like procrastinating, but it's actually deep, focused work happening behind the scenes. So with all this in mind, maybe it's time we all start to embrace our inner lazy genius. Let's really try to see these habits through this new and, frankly, more empowering lens. So that messy desk, it could just mean you're a master of knowing what's important. That habit of talking to yourself, you're using an advanced problem-solving strategy. That tendency to pause before you act, that's you being thoughtful and reflective. These aren't liabilities, they're the signs of a highly efficient mind. So look, if you take just one thing away today, let it be this. What the world might call lazy is often just the outside sign of a mind that is intensely focused, deeply engaged, and working really, really hard on the inside. It really makes you think, doesn't it? It challenges all of us to look past the surface and appreciate how complex and, yeah, often counterintuitive our own minds are. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Which of your so-called flaws will you start seeing as a strength tomorrow?